your language will grow if you can access authentic content. Hi there, Steve Kaufmann here today, and today I want to talk about authenticity in language learning. Remember, if you enjoy these videos, please subscribe, click on the bell for notification, and if you follow me on a podcast service, please leave a comment. I do appreciate it. So, what do I mean by authenticity? When we learn a language, when I learn a language, and again, I'll quote from Stephen Krashen, where we had a very interesting discussion, and you can see it here at YouTube, a live stream a few days ago, and he talked about the importance of meaningful communication. Meaningful. So if you have a communication where you are forcing yourself to talk about the weather, or you're listening to things of no interest to you, those are not meaningful to you. You want to perhaps be choosing something of interest, because that something of interest is going to carry the language into your brain because it's meaningful, because it's authentic. And I've often said that one of the faults that many language learners exhibit is this unwillingness to leave the comfort of the starter book, the learner language. Now, to some extent, it's unavoidable. When I start into a language, I do my mini stories. I spend 3 months on the mini stories. I listen to them often. There's lots of repetition. They are not authentic, but they have a lot of repetition. You need that to get started. That's kind of like the springboard. You bounce 2 or 3 times on this diving board. But once you're up in the air, once you're, launched, you've got to go find authentic content. And your language will grow if you can access authentic content. And I mentioned to Dr. Krashen in our study, or in our conversation rather, that I've never understood why in schools, here in Canada, these schools won't offer a language if they don't have a certified teacher for that language. As if only the teacher can provide explanations on the language, content in the language, and so forth. The reality is the internet is full of authentic content. For my Arabic, I've found this, I've mentioned it before, this Jordanian cartoon series, which I listen to. I listen to podcasts. I listen to material on, I'm doing one right now, a podcast in Persian on Iranian identity, on the Islamic Revolution in 1979, another one. These are all authentic materials. So I am sort of learning things of interest to me in the language. That's authentic. That's how we learn. There's no reason why in a school, if they had a person familiar with how the internet can be used to learn languages, people could be accessing authentic content at their level, cartoons for kids, whatever the case may be. And therefore, these kids at a school, without having a certified teacher for, let's say, Spanish or Portuguese, could be studying those materials at the school, as long as the teacher or language coach was familiar with what's available. And maybe there would be a network of teachers who would be helping each other find this kind of material, authentic material at an appropriate level, so that kids who are motivated to learn will learn. Because accessing authentic material is extremely motivating. I also mentioned in our conversation with Dr. Krashen that in Canada, and this may not be unique to Canada, but kids are almost forced to learn French. French is an official language. So you're asking kids to learn French because it's an official language. It's what, their civic duty to learn French? That's not very motivating. However, if you can find authentic content of interest to all these different learners, and their interest may vary. There might be many different languages that they're interested in. With that kind of material, they are going to learn better. So I think this idea of authenticity in the materials that we use, and authentic typically is going to mean aimed at the native speaker. But it can be children's cartoons. It can be a cooking show. It can be things on politics or history, or literature, or short stories, whatever it might be, authentic. And with the kinds of tools that are available today, such as online dictionaries, MP3 players, Link, and more, the ability to access authentic material is much, much better than it ever was. It used to be you would have to find, a reader with a glossary and hopefully not too difficult and a graded reader and gradually work your way up. But nowadays, it's possible to access genuinely interesting, authentic material much, much earlier. And so I think we should aim for authenticity. I think language teachers, independent teachers online, teachers at school should be looking for ways that they can help their learners access authentic material. And I think that is going to lead to better results than keeping them in a traditional textbook environment. Thank you for listening. Bye for now.